Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Deano Show. Today, we got episode 7. First of all, this is the last episode of 2025, as 2026 is right around the corner. Pretty wild, dude, that 2026 is already here. This is going to be the first year where I'm not going back to school, or I won't be in school. That last time that happened, I think I was like 2 or 3 years old before I even had gone to kindergarten. So yeah, that's pretty weird to think about that. Like, this is the first year without school. But yeah, dude, time is just going by and there's no way of slowing it down, which is just crazy. It's 2026 already. COVID's about to be 6 years ago. Like, what has happened the last 6 years? I don't even know. I'm just 22 years old. Even the last 8 years, high school to college, that went by like that. I don't even know. Went to school in New Canaan, went to school out in Colorado, and came back, and here we are. That's exactly what it feels like. Anyways, welcome back to the show. And if you are new here, feel free to drop a subscribe, like the video, share the video, comment down below. Looking forward to bringing this into 2026. I have some exciting guests that I want to have on the show. And also, just like I mentioned last episode, going to start going out more in the world and, really putting the boots on the ground and believing in this and fully going after it, because I totally just have that feeling that this is it. Documentaries, vlogs, travel, whatever it is, podcasts. I'm obviously going to keep on doing this. But I'm really excited for 2026. 2026 is a big year. Should be a big year for all of us. I hope we all achieve the things that we set our minds to do and want to achieve in this life. And it starts right now, really. And cheers to 2026. But before we get into New Year's resolutions and 2026 and what's coming then, hope you guys all had a good holiday. Hope you guys had a good and wonderful Merry Christmas. Spend time with family and friends. It's the best time of year. Eat a bunch of food. I gotta say, Christmas dinner for me, I just didn't put the fork down whatsoever. It was one of those meals where about 10 seconds after having dessert, I was like, I'm gonna be horizontal on the couch for a while. And I'm not gonna move, and that's just the way it is. And that's kind of what you expect, at least around the holidays. Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas. You just got to eat a lot of food. And it's like you work out and you build all this muscle and you do all that, and like people are like, oh, I'm going to lose my progress. No, dude, you got to let loose for a couple days and just be fat. Just be fat. You just have to do that. At least in my opinion, those are the best times of the year to just absolutely have a chow fest. But that's definitely what we did on Christmas Day. And, it's all good though. I'm sure my life was exactly like yours. Saw some family, opened up some gifts, some fires, watched some beers, watched some football games, had some beer, had some drinks, went out, saw some old friends. You did all the fun things. But on that note, I hope you guys had a really good holiday. If you're watching this video on YouTube, which you probably are, I sure you noticed that this camera quality and this whole picture looks 10 times better than the previous ones. Maybe it's just me because I know camera and lenses and all that type of stuff, so it looks a whole lot better. But I got a new camera. I treated myself to my own Christmas. Got a new Sony a7C Mark II and a 24 to 50 G Master lens to go with it. And it definitely feels good because the camera I had was not full frame. It was lacking in certain technical abilities, and it just wasn't really that much of like a professional camera, more on the beginner side. And like I mentioned before, I'm ready to kind of, start doing this professionally, and I'm going to feel more comfortable having this camera than I would have had my other camera, hence why I'm selling it. Also, another note, if you're interested in buying a camera, which is in great condition, Canon EOS R10 and a 18 to 150 lens, hit my line. We can negotiate a price or two. If not, I'm just going to bring it back to B&H and sell it there. But yeah, so I'm definitely pumped about this. Got a couple ND filters, which is basically like sunglasses for your camera lens. Got this mist filter, which looked cool. Just gives it that like kind of distorted mist. Like it's I don't have it on obviously, but it's better when it's more noticeable with lights. So yeah, that's kind of what I got. And was it cheap? Definitely not. It's something, I kind of thought as a purchase as I'm going to use for a while. I'm hopefully going to be able to make money from buying this camera, and one day I'll look back on and be happy that I did make this purchase. And it's cool. It's got this built-in mic where I can actually hear myself talk, versus when I did it with my other camera, I didn't hear myself talk. So this is kind of like built-in mic. Obviously, I still got my Rode mic, but you know, just a whole bunch of new features. Can import my own LUTs, higher quality, more megapixels on the screen, just higher quality in video image. So, which just was an ad, not an ad, but shout out to Sony. And it's weird, I've been Canon my whole kind of video camera life so far, and usually people, when they, you know, stick to one brand, they usually stay to that one brand because of the menu and knowing how to run a certain camera and whatnot. But I worked with Sony cameras in school, the FX3, which is one of the best cameras around, if not the best camera around. That's not like for like full-on movies and whatnot. And I just loved Sony. I kind of fell in love with the Sony camera. So that's why I went with the Sony camera. And I felt that this A7C body is very minimal, and it's good to travel with. Small, and this whole kind of setup is pretty small. So it'll be good for running gun docks, on the run, good travel camera. It's small, convenient, and whatnot. Yeah, so that's probably why this image quality looks 10 times better and sharper image. So shout out to Sony, loving the A7C Mark II. So I went bowling the other day, and bowling, at least for me, was one of those things where, you know, you obviously did when you were a kid, birthday parties. It was just a kid activity. And then when our friend group, we were like, yeah, let's go bowling. And I hadn't gone bowling, actually. I don't know the last time I went bowling before I went bowling recently. Dude, and bowling is fucking fun. Like, we had an absolute blast. You know, it's fun. You got to get the form down. I think I might have pulled something in my leg and my forearm, but that's a story for another day. We didn't really know, at least going into it, what the rates were, how much it costed per game, if you wanted 1 lane or 2 lanes, because there were 6 of us. So we got to our lane, and the lane to our right also opened. So we asked the people if we could just take both lanes. So we got both lanes and, you know, had a couple matches. I think we played a total of 5 games. And after each of the games ended, the screen that you would look up that would show the score just said, player 1, start bowling again. And which we would start bowling again. And then I think we started bowling at like 8:30 or something and went until like 12:15 when the place pretty much shut down. And none of us knew how much it was going to cost, because we were just, like I said, just kept on playing. We went over to like the desks to return the shoes, you know, leave, and obviously we had to pay. The lady was like, oh, like lanes 35 and 36. We're like, yep, that was us. And the total was like $440. 5 games of bowling, 6 people. I think it came out to like $80 a person, but winners and losers ended up having to pay for the round. So luckily enough, I was on the winning side, so I didn't have to pay for the rounds. But yeah, bowling, did not know bowling was that much of an expensive sport. I mean, you're only just rolling I don't even know what those balls are made out of, down a wooden greasy floor. But no, bowling is fun. I had my first ever turkey, I think it's called, 3 strikes in a row. And it's all about in the form. I really exaggerate the leg kick. I'm a righty, so I throw, I'm a righty, and then you throw, and then you got to kick the leg out, so at least you look professional. I don't know. But yeah, happy I got back into the lanes. It was one of those things, like I said, that I hadn't done in I don't even know how long. And when we were like, let's go bowling, we went bowling. By the way, this is the #1 water in the water industry right now. Hands down. Actually, Saratoga for sparkling, Senshi water for still. Not up for debate. And then yesterday, went to go see Marty Supreme. And it was one of those movies, you know, it's had so much hype and like everyone's talking about it. Really good. It's for dream chasers. It's a really good movie. So my expectations were really high. And not to say it was not a bad movie at all. It was not a bad movie at all. It honestly was a good movie. But I think I set my expectations like through the roof and was like, this is going to be a 101 movie. And it was, to be clear, it was a very good movie. But I think I set my expectations too hard. If you had not watched this movie, skip this part of the video because I'll probably talk about more of it. But if you had watched that movie, I'm curious to know if you guys kind of felt the same way. Like, it got way too much hype. Like, I wish there was more of the ping pong than it was him chasing around a dog. Now, the dog scenes were entertaining and whatnot, but I wish there was more of him, like, showing kind of the grind of a ping pong player. And I guess that he was kind of like playing the character of this big ego, like, can do whatever he wants, which honestly Chalamet did. He played it really well. Marty was, in fact, that person. Played off that character really well. But yeah, it was a really good movie. Definitely recommend seeing it. Were my expectations a little high? Maybe a little too high. But definitely inspiring, and definitely got the wheels turning. And as I was watching it, I was just thinking about this and thinking about, you know, my trajectory and where I kind of want to take things ultimately and where I want to be in 2026, and, you know, new year, some goals and that type of stuff. So it definitely got the mind spinning in a good way, and got it thinking about how to really just be all in and go after your dreams, dude. Dreams are in there for a reason. God didn't put that dream in you if he didn't think you could do it. So live with that, know that, and all it is just work. Work, effort, time, patience, discipline, dedication, all of things that are needed in order to be successful. I was thinking about this the other day, and I can't remember exactly where I was driving home from, but, you know, I feel like people nowadays tend to make life very complicated and overcomplicate things. Not that life isn't hard. Life is hard. It can be very challenging at times. Suffering, pain, all of that sucks. But I think it's important, because with a life with no hardships, there's no real story, or there's no real, you know, perseverance. That's kind of what makes life special, is going through the suffering, the pain, the unknown, the challenges to get to where you want to be. Because if it was just easy and you could just wake up and just do it and has no hardships, then it would be like, it wouldn't feel real. You wouldn't want it. You wouldn't want it to be that way. You want to have to earn things. I want to have to earn this, earn the platform, earn that. And I think that's an important lesson, at least for me, that I'm taking into in 2026, is what are the things that bring my energy up? What did I not do out of fear? And at least for that, I didn't do this for, I think I started this in November, maybe late September or late October or so. 8 months of the year when I could have been doing this, but I was too scared to, you know, start this and start at the bottom and build something up from nothing, or at least become somewhat consciously aware of how much fear is playing a role in your life, if it is or if it isn't at all. I'm not sure, but identify that and then ask yourself, what is the fear? I think there's nothing really to be afraid of. No one is getting out of this game alive. We are all going to die. We're all going to be forgotten. Your story won't be told in 300 years from now, unfortunately. As dark as that is, even 100 years from now. So I guess I kind of just remember, like, we truly are living on borrowed time. The past are just memories. The future is unknown. All you really can do is just live in the present. Be right here. Do everything in your power to enjoy right here. Feel alive, don't just exist. Feel alive, don't just exist. It's not that life is too short, it's just that people wait so long to live it. And I'm going to do and make it a big goal of mine in 2026 to live fully. No stopping, no fears. There's nothing to be afraid of. Literally nothing. What? Someone's going to make fun of me for doing this? Great. Cool. Make fun of me. You don't, like, okay. I lose a friend or two off doing this. I embarrass myself. I get rejected from a girl. I fail. I don't gain any subscribers. Okay. Fuck around and find out, man. Make that your 2026 mantra. Do all the things that you say you're going to do. Show up for yourself. Make the most of your time here. It's all borrowed, dude. I don't even know if I'm going to be alive in a month from now. I don't know. I would like to be, but it's out of my control. No one knows what's going on in their life. And I know people are so good at putting on masks and show that they got everything figured out. And well, this person has that, this person's got that, and this person doesn't struggle. And first of all, social media is such a highlight reel. And I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times. And it's cliche, but it is, bro. You don't like, it's just a portray of someone's life. It isn't as special as they make it seem. And I hope you get that from my videos, is that I'm just being me. As a kid who's 22, trying to figure out his life after college, living with his parents. I don't have a job. I'm looking for a job, trying to find one. I'm doing things that, make me happy, make me feel like I have purpose, that make me feel like I'm living, not just existing. So, I'm just trying to connect the dots and live in the unknown and just exist. I definitely am going to start I'm going to go on like a meditation freak journey, everyday meditation for at least 30 minutes a day. That's a 2026 goal. Read a book, at least one book every month, at least one every month. Get back into the gym and yoga. Holidays, definitely, I saw a little bit of a decline in the yoga and the gym. Actually went to yoga for the first time yesterday, or maybe 2 days ago. Bikram in the 90 minutes. And I was a little like, shit, am I like totally out of sorts and doing this? Am I going to be like totally sore? And honestly, it was the complete opposite. Like, it was one of the best classes I've had in a very long time. Now, I haven't been in a couple weeks, but I definitely was one of those classes where I was like, wow, I was on point. I was breathing well. I was holding the postures correctly. And I think I just kind of like let go and just like went into the class. It had no expectations, and it turned out to be the best class one of the best classes I've had in a while. Maybe I need to do more of that, is just stop holding yourself to such high expectations. Because if you live below your means, you're always going to be satisfied. But if you live into expectations of driving a $10 million car and wanting a $10 million house, you might not meet those expectations. Maybe you will, but at least set expectations for yourself that you can achieve and are actually within reach. And I'm not telling you to not be delusional or be realistic. No, I'm all for being delusional and all setting these crazy goals, but also have like common sense with a little of these goals. Like, I'm not going to go into next year saying I need 1 million subscribers on YouTube, because the odds, yeah, sure, it's possible, but that's like, I don't even know what the chance of me getting 1 million subs on YouTube is. I can't expect it out of myself, but can I expect 50? Yeah. Work hard enough, fucking nose to the grindstone, absolutely. So I think there's a level of be realistic and be delusional at the same time. So yeah, that's kind of what I got on that. I guess one other thing that we'll talk about. So I went skiing on the East Coast for the first time, and I really don't even know how long. And as you may or may not know, I went to school out in Colorado for 4 years, so I was blessed to have good snow, good terrain, unbelievable mountains right all around me at all times. And I went up to Stratton for a day, drove up, I think, like last Monday, slept in a Motel 6, which, again, did not have high expectations for, but good Lord, that was a rock bed. The mattress was like this thin, just totally... like I said, felt like I was sleeping on a rock. But it was $33 for the night, and it was perfect. I was with my 2 cousins. We went up to Stratton for the day, and it was your typical Vermont day. There was definitely some runs that we went down, and I was like, yeah, we don't need to go down that run again, because it was pretty icy. And it was the first time where I had skied on that, and I was like, shit, I was so lucky out in Colorado. Granted, out west right now is not getting much snow. Like, I've been seeing clips on X and TikTok, like Utah's struggling a lot to get snow. Park City, Colorado's getting there. And I know it's relatively early in the season, so I mean, they theoretically still have time to, get the big dumpings, but it's definitely kind of wild how much little snow out west has gotten. I mean, Vermont's had a better season than a lot of out west mountains have. Jay Peak has been getting crushed. But yeah, it's funny. I was like, wow. I went from skiing Copper and having a basin in my backyard to ski in Stratton. And, you know, that sounds really ridiculous, but it's one of those things that, like, you kind of got to experience and, like, see the difference between the two, because there definitely is a difference, and there definitely is a difference in snow quality. Obviously, terrain, the mountains are 10 times bigger and more advanced out west. But yeah, there were some, like, double blacks that we skied down. I was like, that was really a double black. Uh-huh. And it's funny, I grew up going to Stratton. That was like the mountain we went to as a kid. That's where I learned how to ski. And I remember like riding the chairlift with my dad when I was really young, like kind of just learning how to ski and like looking at these double blacks from the lift and be like, these are so steep. I mean, I was like 8 years old. And I remember when my dad would take me to the top and he's like, all right, Griff, like follow me, wide turns. And like, we would literally just like go slowly make it down the mountain. And here we are today. But yeah, skiing's awesome. I can't wait to do more of it. Hopefully, I want to try to get out west at least once, maybe twice this year. That'd definitely be some fun content. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for the show. The last show of 2025. Whew, 2026. Here we come. New year. Hopefully, I can look back on this episode in a year from now and be thankful that I stuck with it. Hopefully I'll have a bigger audience, new bigger fans. And it's actually going somewhere, because that'd be really cool to look back on and be happy that I never quit and never stopped. No matter how many of you people listen, I'm always going to do this. And I hope you enjoy these episodes. I hope you enjoy listening. But that's all I got for you guys. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. Get serious about your dreams. If not now, then when? And enjoy it. Happy New Year. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.